I haven't made an effort to hide my dislike for Mirror's Edge Catalyst.
Catalyst's open world really isn't the best.
Let's hope that one day we'll get a sequel that isn't Mirror's Edge Catalyst. The game is deeply flawed, that's for certain. How it stacks up against the original game is subjective, but I'm not gonna let that stop me. Now, get comfy and hold back any anger pointed in my general direction as I tell you the one button that ruins this game for me. It's this one. After the game's introductory sequence, it introduces you to this interesting addition to the game. Pressing right click brings you up to full speed, instantly. Wait, what's the problem, I hear you ask? Surely a button to reach top speed in a game about traversal is logical. No, it's not. The number one rule with a game about parkour, gaining and maintaining momentum must be rewarding. Otherwise, what's the point? You're given a whole tool set of moves to get you going and past any obstacles that get in your way, but when a click of a button gets you back to full speed instantly, those moves start to lose their meaning. It doesn't help that the move is simply a push of a button. It's a low risk, high reward move, and so it becomes a crutch. It becomes habit to press it whenever you feel even a slight decrease in speed, and any major mistakes can be offset with that one click. The satisfaction of hearing your footsteps getting faster and faster is but a pipe dream in Catalyst, especially considering how high your acceleration is without the dash. The feeling of sliding under a low obstacle and burning some of your momentum for a really cool move is gone. The need to step back and give yourself a run up before a big jump is also gone. All of this was sacrificed for the sake of a faster pace. What makes this strange is that the game already managed to find ways to keep momentum better than the first game did. Climbing ladders is way faster, cornering is easier with the use of certain poles, and bouncing off a box is much more freeform than the scripted events of its predecessor. So the question is, why sacrifice so many satisfying elements of the movement from the first game for a right click that isn't even necessary? Take, for example, this jump from the first game. Anyone who played the game remembers this jump because it has a specific experience tied to it. It's the first jump in a game that's a life or death situation, and you question whether you can really make it. You take a few steps back, line yourself up, jump for it. It's a defining moment for any player. The moment you start to understand the game's mechanics and the way it challenges you, you feel ready for that challenge. How does this work in the second game?
Too close.
Pointless spectacle. All because one button makes it completely meaningless. This above all else is why I dislike the right click dash. Not just for how it changes the core gameplay, but also how it demonstrates the developer's ineptitude. Elements which made the first game special have been sacrificed in DICE's desire for forced innovation. What's the point of putting in a grappling hook? It's one button that carries you automatically across rooftops that could have had fun traversal challenges instead. This is without mentioning other areas like the story, where they decided to force in so many writing cliches that it has absolutely no impact. And this is all without mentioning the swap from minimalism to maximalism. Take the Shard, the final level of both games. Here's an example of the Shard from the first game. A similar moment in the second game looks like this. Notice how the flashing lights, constant chatter, and destruction all add very little to the experience. In fact, in some ways, they detract from it. In the first Shard, you were alone for the majority of it, without even a familiar voice in the comms. Long stretches of ambience led to hectic combat segments that may have not been too well designed, but the flow of the level helped set it up. It tells you, this is the final level. You are going to be tested. The Shard in Catalyst is overblown with spectacle.
This is great.
People on the wire telling you just how important this level is, as it throws a bunch of big flashy set pieces at you, and when you pull it all away, you're left with a very straightforward, very easy level. This is the problem with Catalyst. DICE left it too long after making the first Mirror's Edge, so when it came to the second chance, they forgot what made the game so great. Minimalism and immersion were swapped for spectacle and dull gameplay, with constant additions to make the game feel different. Just like the right-click dash. It didn't really add to the gameplay and made the core experience feel less tense, less exciting, and less rewarding. They didn't need to make the game wildly different to the first game, they just needed to make it better.